Welcome to Weld School. Today we're making up a stick whip, and we are going to use a DINS style connector, and we have a 200 amp stinger. This chart here is AWG American wire gauge welding cable sizes, and it starts at the top left 125 amps all the way down to 1500 amps, which is pretty insane. And we also need to consider the diameter, the length, and the rating for the insulator. So I'm just going to make up a short whip. It's about 16 feet, and it's a 200 amp stinger. So I mean, technically I can get away with a 2. When we look at these sizes, it goes 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 from smaller to bigger. We get into single-aught, double-aught, triple-aught, and 4-aught size cables as well when we get into larger ampacities of these cables. So if you're going to run something that is a couple hundred feet long, you need to put that into the equation as well. It's important that, if you're out in the field, you have a welding machine on, the second floor, and you're dragging cables down a elevator shaft to the first floor or basement, or you're dragging them up a couple floors above that, you need to consider your length. So they do show you how long you're planning on running this. So I would say, even if I'm making a 16-foot whip, if I wanted to use this out on the job, maybe the 16-foot connects to two 100-foot cables, and I need to put that into the equation. So what I'm going to use here is a single-aught cable, and you can see in the next clip that there is a rating for temperature. It's got a great insulator on there. So, this one would clearly accomplish what I'm trying to weld it with a 200 amp stinger. 200 amp stinger is actually a pretty small stinger. They get much larger than that, but thought it was perfect. I'm in a classroom or a shop teaching students. We're running 60-10, 70-18s, 1/8 inch for the most part, and chances of me going up past 200 amps is pretty slim. So that's why I'm picking a 200 amp stinger and choosing a single-aught wire. But check out the video. If you like this stuff, hit that subscribe button. But I'm going to go ahead and explain the rest of this here. Just so if you've never made up a stick whip, here's how you do it. It's actually pretty simple. Check it out. So we have a single-aught ultra flex welding cable, 600 volts, goes down to negative 50 C, made here in the good old US of A. Gotta definitely make a point of that. Great whip, cut it to 16. Here I am wrapping it up. And then we'll go ahead and basically just add 2 components. So we're going to add a DINS connector. DINS style connector is what we typically use. There's a 200 amp Tweco stinger, and really just a couple of tools. A couple Allen wrenches, a wire cutter, stripper, and screwdriver. So I'm going to go ahead and take the insulator off, and you can see where we connect the wire. I'm going to go ahead and back that out so I can slide the wire in there, and that's what actually pinches it into place. Big mistake right here. People forget to put that on, and they got to go backwards. I'm guilty myself. I've forgotten to put that on before, and go ahead and have to go backwards and redo it all. So here I'm going to just take this coating off, and I'm going to do my best not to damage a single thread of that copper wire. We want to keep all of them intact. Make sure it slides all the way in, all the way to the end. You want to get as much in there, and then just crank down on these things, because you're pulling on them as you're welding, doing maybe like a vertical up. They're constantly being yanked on. So I'm putting as much muscle as I got into this thing. Slide that right back over, and then you'll toss the screw in there to lock it in place. Once that's locked in place, I give it a little tug just to make sure. I mean, it should not slide out. Just so you know, you can tighten it through that hole right there, just in case anything seems to be slipping. Okay, we're going to go ahead and take the other side. There's our Tweeko 200 amp stinger. Take the insulator off of that one as well. Go ahead and slide that on the right direction. Don't forget that. Check to see how much wire I need to slide into this. Back that out. I try not to let it actually come all the way out. Just enough to be able to slide that wire in. So it looks like about an inch. Again, trying not to damage a single thread of copper. Keep it all intact. Slide it in there before it frays out or anything like that. Hold it down as far down on that insulator as you can get it. And again, tighten this thing down so it never pops out. So make sure you have your Wheaties for breakfast. And then the next step, slide the insulator back up and tighten it down. And don't go crazy because you could crack that plastic, but that's it. Now let's put it to the test.